Welcome, everyone. Everybody hear me okay? Ready to roll? I am super excited to be launching Extended Naturalism, a new approach to tackling the hard problem of consciousness. I see John in the room, a few other folks who I'm very fond of. Hey, hey. This has been a journey actually in the last year. This has been a tremendously important focus of my life, and I'm super excited about the opportunity to share it in these next 2 days. I'm really looking forward to what we have on offer, and I'm looking forward to the productive dialogues that will follow. So what I'm going to do today, right now, is we're going to pop in, give a little bit of overview, take about 5-10 minutes, and then see if there are any questions, and then take a 1 or 2 minute break, and then we'll jump in to the primary session that's kicking off the whole conference, where me and John will be laying out some of the 5 problems, and in particular with some focus on some of the special elements of them. So, welcome. Let's get rolling. The hard problem of consciousness will not be the same after these 2 days. That's my pitch. So let me share here. And you know I do some PowerPoint stuff. So here we are at the UTOK Conference on Consciousness. We got an awesome lineup of folks coming to share. And this is part of a series of the UTOK annual conferences. The first 2 were on consilience and basically showing that we can build a knowledge structure that's really broad, very deep. But of course, actually, when you get into knowledge and you get into science and you get into how we make sense out of the world, very arguably, there's one concept more than any other that's pretty tricky to fit in, and that's consciousness. And after the second UTOK conference, it basically emerged in my head. It's like, we have to nail this concept and show how the structure of argument and knowledge that we built affords a way to address it. Of course, this doesn't happen by me alone. I've got a wonderful team here. Andrew Robinson, our IT guy, Masi Agralia, both partner and curator of UTOK in all different ways, and Christian Gross behind the scenes doing design and whatnot, and many other folks helping, but these are the core conference team. And so I just have to start, of course, with a big shout out. There's a lot of effort goes into these things, and I deeply appreciate folks taking the time and trying to advance the cause here. In terms of, hey, extended naturalism, a new approach, well, we shared 10 different essays plus an appendix. And that really kind of solidifies the core of the argument. And to really then get into that, that's kind of necessary. Of course, we will be articulating key aspects of that throughout the entire conference, in particular in the next. And then other people will be offering their own views and variations, either to kind of challenge some of what we're offering, to elaborate on it, and then we will see what the overall element is. This is a synthesis of 2 different ideas. Of course, one set of ideas comes from John and his work in 4E cognitive science, and mine in relationship to psychology and psychotherapy. I found John after as so many people did, after awakening to the meaning crisis. And of course, folks know probably that we developed a cognitive science show with 5 different series that we did put together on consciousness, on the self, on development, on psyche pathology and well-being, and then fundamentally on transcendent naturalism. That's sort of the biggest and broadest view, which consists of 2 fundamentally different elements: an extended naturalistic worldview, and that's ultimately what we're going to use to ground an analysis of science and consciousness, paired with a concept of strong transcendence. Strong transcendence is the idea that we can come together and update our understanding, a recursive relevance realization, a distributed collection of recursive relevance realization that affords our gripping of reality in a different way, and maybe more effectively moving toward wisdom, which if you look outside in the world, I don't know that we're doing super well in relationship to all of our hierarchically arranged political structures and whatnot. But the idea is that there's a tremendous potential for us with the right knowledge to wisdom structure to transform the way we collectively operate in the world. What is this? Of course, it's the synthetic merger. It's very important to understand that, of 2 meta-theoretical perspectives. They bridge psychology, psychotherapy, 4E cognitive science, philosophy of mind in a manner that gives rise to a new vision of understanding science, the natural world, and human consciousness. Inside the essays, I delineated how this works. What's the structure of it? It's got 5 different problems. that we're delineating here. A framing problem, we'll be talking about that. The nature of nature problem, we'll be diving into that. There's a definition problem. What do we mean by mind and consciousness? There's a knowledge problem. What does it mean to know, especially if an epistemic perspectival vector, meaning the way you see the world, is inside versus out? And what does it mean to bind together our phenomenological experience of the world and functional analyses? Those are the problems. And if you look at the science of consciousness, all these problems show up in various ways. And EN brings its own solutions. It's got the core of extended naturalism, as we'll see, is a fundamental reframing of the problem, analysis and a break of the problem, and then a point to a new concept called mindedness, and that opens up all sorts of different elements, including awareness of the nature of nature through much of the work that John's done on extended consistency. We'll be hearing more about that, extended emergence, the UTOK's tree of knowledge, extended ontology with PTB, periodic table of behavior. We've got our extended definitions that have come from some of the work I've been doing recently, and an extended epistemology, which we won't be talking as much about, but it's available and the essays are there. And then finally, an extended phenomenology, a felt sense of what it is to be in the world and how we enrich that, an understanding of first-person experience of being in the world, and bind that to psychological theories that enrich both and give us a much clearer picture of human consciousness. That's what's on offer. That's what we're offering up, and that's how we're tackling this hard problem. These are the essays that were shared. They delineate each one of those problems and articulate in a very pointed way, without a lot of elaboration, but basically the key architecture that we're binding together to address. And so what we have for us today is right after this, we'll pop into an extended naturalism discussion. I'll give an overview, some of the problems. I'll dialogue about the framing. I'll then hand it off to John. John's got a 45-minute talk prepared on the logic of extended consistency and some more recent work on causal emergence and a few other things. I haven't heard it. I'm super excited about it. After that, I'm going to provide a concise summary of what we're pointing to here in terms of the fundamental architecture, a theory of mind too in humans. I'll be giving a summary of that. The goal there is to really provide an articulate view of what it is that we're speaking towards, pointing towards, and the novelty of the structures that emerge out of the synthesis. Then I saw him earlier, Alexander Bard's in the audience. We have our friends from the intellectual deep web, Alexander Bard, Alex Ebert, Tom and Mark will be talking about consciousness from their vantage point. We're going to shift from into some more sort of scientific view, although we're going to be very clear about some of the philosophical issues. Bard's going to be talking about from a more metaphysical perspective, along with Alex Ebert, and Tom and Mark's going to be binding that with a view of phenomenology of the will. After that, I got my good friends Rick Rapetti, Layman Pascal, and Brendan Graham-Dempsey coming to talk about different ways we could anchor and then extend extended naturalism into new kind of angles on consciousness, broader angles, meaning making, spirituality, etc., metamodern spirituality. I'm really looking forward to that exchange. And then finally, we got Bobby Abzarian bringing his unifying theory of reality and making an update about where that is and how that bridges into unified theory of knowledge, and how it also aligns with, or also potentially contrasts some with, the extended naturalism versus the poetic meta-naturalism that he has. So that's today. That's a jam-packed day for us. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be offering just some reflection. This will be an opportunity also to ask questions, certainly of me. So kind of come, if folks have questions. I'm not sure how much we'll have time, especially in the John and my session. We hope to have 10 or 15 minutes for questions. But in terms of longer discussions, I want to have that open. I'll summarize my thoughts, add areas that may not be as salient, like the epistemology problem. I think I'm going to prepare some remarks on relationship to that, but really also take feedback and give summary. Then we have a very exciting panel with Michael Levin. He's going to be talking about his latest thinking about consciousness. And then with him, he'll be joined by Benita Roy and Matt Segal, and I'll be moderating. I think John's going to be helping me moderate and discuss that. That should be a really exciting session. That's a 2-hour session. And then to round it up, my friends and close partners in life have been exploring this concept called UTOK psychology. And basically what this says is, hey, when we have these models of consciousness, there's the generalizable model, and then there's your psyche. And we'll be talking about what it means to really embrace the subjective point of view of being in the world, what my friend Alexander Barr calls the pathic view. You're embedded, embodied in the world. And psychology affords a frame for thinking systematically about us in the world as subjects in relationship to the world. And then UTOK psychology specifies that. I've been meeting with a group of folks that are bringing their own, of course it's psyche, so they're bringing their own angles on it, but binding to their views into UTOK, into the world. And this is a really applied perspective that I think opens up a lot of different ways. And then, we'll probably have a summary session. Actually, I'll talk to folks, see if there's an interest in kind of gathering together and rounding out the conference. But that's the lineup. I'm really excited about it, and we'll be ready to roll.